Hello friends, my name is Sumit and I'm going to discuss about the Kargil war in the coming videos. ये जुलाई का महीना है और हर साल 26 जुलाई को भारत कारगिल विजय दिवस मनाता है. India celebrates Kargil Vijay Divas on 26th July every year to commemorate the victory of our military troops or Pakistani troops who forcefully captured the military outposts high up in the mountains in the Kargil sector, Batalik sector, Dras, Bukso of the Jammu and Kashmir. But what really motivated me to prepare this batch of videos on Kargil war is the legacy which has been left behind by our brave soldiers who fought so bravely in that battlefield. For last many days I have been reading about Kargil war, and trust me, I'm so deeply moved and surprised by the bravery of such fearless soldiers of Indian Armed Forces. They literally put the safety and security of this country first. And I sincerely believe that those interesting incidents which I came across while reading in the past few days, I think those interesting incidents deserve to be shared amongst the youth of this country, amongst the citizens of this country. So I am doing my bit. I'm making this batch of videos to pay my tribute those brave soldiers who fought so bravely with utter disregard to their personal safety and went beyond the call of duty and eventually giving up the ultimate supreme sacrifice for this great land. Salute करता हूँ उनको दिल से. But before I first proceed to these interesting incidents, which I'm 100% sure that you would cherish for many years to come, let me just give you the historical background of this dispute, and then I'll proceed what exactly led to this Kargil war and why the enemy chose this particular time of the year for the invasion, and why Pakistan took such big offensive, and how did it dare to act in such way. What were those circumstances? What was happening in the backdrop? Geopolitically, I mean. Sir, when India got independent in 1947, the Britishers gave the princely states the options to choose either Pakistan or India or remain independent. So the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir was ruled by Maharaja Hari Singh. He was a Hindu ruler who was ruling the Muslim subjects. So he signed the standstill agreement. He was not sure. It was like a wait and watch situation. Whichever side goes against him, he would go with the other party. Then sooner, this tribals from the Kashmir invaded and they created a ruckus. They created a massacre, unprecedented massacre in the valley, prompting the ruler to sign instrument of accession with India. Subsequently, the Indian army stepped in and the war broke out for the first time between the two neighbors, which eventually lasted till 1949, and then in 1949 Karachi Agreement was signed in the presence of UN observers. And it was agreed that whatever lands were secured by the respective military forces of the two nations by that time, that would be considered as the ceasefire line. मतलब उस लाइन पर कोई फायरिंग नहीं होगी. Firing would be ceased till the peaceful resolution of the Kashmir dispute, because India was claiming uh, that basically Nehru did not believe in two-nation theory, whereas Jinnah was supporting the two-nation theory. So Nehru also proposed the uh, holding of plebiscite, which never really took place till date. Anyway, as the time passed, several things happened in between that need not be shared as of now, as far as this Kargil war is concerned. But then what happened is that in 1972 Shimla Agreement was signed post the conclusion of 1971 war, and it was agreed that both nations decided to resolve the dispute peacefully and bilaterally. So no third party would be involved in negotiations, unlike earlier times. Then what happened is, कराची एग्रीमेंट में ये बात हुई थी कि जो आपकी सीज फायर लाइन होगी वो पॉइंट NJ9842 तक डिसाइड हुई थी. उसके बाद ये डिसाइड हुआ था कि जो माउंटेन क्रेस्ट लाइन होगी, जो माउंटेन जो जो हाई माउंटेन का जो रिज होगा, वो जहाँ पे वो इंडिया पाकिस्तान, जो इंडिया चाइना या पाकिस्तान, क्योंकि उसके इस तरफ तो पाकिस्तान होगा और इस तरफ चाइना इंडिया. तो ये डिसाइड हुआ था कि जो माउंटेन क्रेस्ट लाइन चाइना के बॉर्डर तक जाएगी वो फिर ऐसे वहाँ से कंटिन्यू होगी. लेकिन इंडिया का क्लेम ये है कि वहाँ से जो माउंटेन क्रेस्ट लाइन है वो नॉर्थ वेस्ट डायरेक्शन में जाती है, और पाकिस्तान का ये क्लेम रहा है कि वहाँ से वो माउंटेन क्रेस्ट लाइन नॉर्दर्न या नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न डायरेक्शन में चाइना के बॉर्डर तक जाती है. और जब आप उसको when you will check it on internet, you will see the triangular area. That area is the Siachen region, and that was the main reason behind the Kargil war. I'll come to that in few minutes to come. So what happened was that India and Pakistan both were buying the mountaineering gears and other equipments from a common vendor based out of London. And Indian intelligence agencies got this tip off that the Pakistan establishment is buying those equipments in bulk from this vendor. And that really raised eyebrows and prompted the Indian army to gear up and try to scale up those peaks as soon as possible, and eventually India did so. And this was the Operation Meghdoot. Operation Meghdoot is still in existence because the objective of Operation Meghdoot is to maintain the presence of Indian army in this region, Siachen region. Please go and see that image of Siachen region. You will see that triangular shaped region. So the western line is known as actual ground position line because India took the control of this line first, on the virtue of capturing those peaks first before Pakistani army could. So the ceasefire line, now it is renamed as LOC after the 1972 Shimla Agreement. Now point NJ9842 onwards, this is known as actual ground position line. खैर साहब, ये तो ऑपरेशन मेघदूत था. अब हुआ ये कि 1974 में इंडिया ने पहली बार न्यूक्लियर टेस्ट कंडक्ट किया था, एंड दिस रियली took Pakistan by surprise. Both are the arch rivals. So what happened is that after the 1990, separatism was seen at its peak in the valley. Many separatist movement were going on, and they were supported by the Pakistan establishment across the border. So in 1998, India conducted its second nuclear test, and just few weeks after that, Pakistan also conducted its first nuclear test. And I think that really emboldened Pakistan for the wrong reasons, that they took this offensive to capture our military outpost in the Kargil sector next year. In October 1998, Parvez Musharraf was appointed as the Chief of Army Staff. And he was, I think, involved when Pakistan Army was trying to scale up the heights in the Siachen region, and we all know that they couldn't secure much of the heights there. So he was somehow ready to take a revenge. And then in February 1999, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji went to Pakistan, and both Prime Minister, the then Prime Minister of Nawaz Sharif Sahab of Pakistan and Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji signed the Lahore Declaration. in February 1999. Both promised to each other that they would continue to resolve the dispute. Sorry, they would continue to resolve the dispute peacefully. But within next 2-3 months, the first week of May, this Kargil war broke out. It lasted for less than 3 months, 2 months and 3 weeks precisely. It got ended on 26th of July. Now the question is कि why Pakistan dared to commit this offensive? Why they dared to choose to do this act? Because in just 2-3 months before, India signed the Lahore Declaration, and it जनरली दो आर्मीज़ के बीच में कुछ कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डिंग मेजर्स लिए जाते हैं. तो इतनी ऊपर कारगिल सेक्टर में जो जो हाइट है मिलिट्री, जो माउंटेन पीक्स की जो हाइट है वो 5-5,500 मीटर तक ऊंची हाइट है, 5,000 मीटर अबव द सी लेवल. और उतनी ऊंची हाइट पर समर्स में भी काफ़ी अच्छी खासी बर्फ़ की प्रेजेंस रहती है, और विंटर्स में तो वहाँ रहना मतलब बहुत मुश्किल होता है. सो द इंडियन आर्मी वॉज मेंटेनिंग हैंडफुल ऑफ सोल्जर्स गार्डिंग द LOC in the Kargil sector at that time. They were not expecting such move from Pakistan side. And before the winter set in, Indian Army left those military outposts in the high up in the mountains in the Kargil sector unoccupied. And taking the advantage of that thing, Pakistani troops infiltrated across the LOC on the Indian side. So on 3rd of May, some local shepherds, बकरवालाज, जो गडरी होते हैं, जो अपनी कैटल्स को, अपने गाय, भैंस, बकरियां, घोड़ों को लेकर ऊपर चले जाते हैं गर्मियों में, they informed the Indian Army that they suspected the presence of either the insurgents, local militants, or the Pakistani soldiers high up in the mountains. Then one team led by Captain Saurabh Kalia was sent on a patrol in the Patalik sector to confirm the report. Captain Saurabh Kalia and his 5 or 6 soldiers were captured and killed. Then, as the time passed, it was confirmed that it was a systematic plan, and we witnessed multiple infiltrations at several peaks as long as this 165-kilometer long stretch of ridge in the sector. There were several peaks, Tololing Peak, Tiger Hill, and several other points which were named like point 5140, point 4875, point 5353. मेरे ख्याल में ये उनकी हाइट के बेसिस पे उनको नाम दिया गया था. So within few days those peaks were captured. And why those peaks in particular were captured? There were more than 132 vantage points which were captured by Pakistani troops, their paramilitary troops, and also some local mujahideen of the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Because these vantage points had a clear line of sight of National Highway 1, which is considered as the artery from the standpoint of supply and logistical support. This National Highway 1 connects the Srinagar to Leh. So Pakistan envisaged to cut this only route between Srinagar and Leh so that the logistical and other support which is given to the soldiers in Siachen region could be severed, and then they would recapture the Siachen region and would use it as a bargaining chip to resolve the Kashmir dispute. This was their basic plan. Several other experts have their own other opinions, but most of the in most of the papers I have read about this, this can be considered as the most relevant, most pertinent reason behind this invasion. Khair Saab. So the entire peaks were overlooking the National Highway 1. The most the most closest vantage point was, I think, 0.4590, and the highest peak was, I think, 0.5353 or 0.5140. There were several such peaks, and they could easily see the movement of Indian military trucks, and they could easily fire, and they did so. So India did not waste much of time and quickly mobilized its troops. But then again, there were many challenges in this terrain. That's why I always say that this battle is probably the first such battle which has been fought in such difficult terrain. And this was the first time, by the way, two nuclear armed states, de facto nuclear armed states, were at loggerheads and facing the conventional war एक दूसरे के आमने सामने. So everyone was quite worried that this might escalate into an all-out war. Thankfully that did not happen. But anyway, subsequently, so then India launched the Operation Vijay. So the culmination of Operation Vijay is celebrated as Kargil Vijay Divas on 26th of July. Operation Vijay was meant to clear out the Kargil sector. And there was one more operation, Operation Safed Sagar. This operation was a name to a operation in which Indian Air Force was to give support to the ground level troops to evacuate to secure the region away from the Pakistani troops. अब साफ हुआ क्या कि इतनी हाई टेरेन में हवा की कमी वैसे भी होती है, तो उसकी वजह से Indian Air Force also faced several problems. First, there were lack of airstrips which could be used to take off. Second, because of the rarefied air, the trajectory of laser guided bombs could not be properly executed. And then there were hard boulders placed on those hills, and behind those boulders several such Pakistani troops were hidden. So it was very difficult to locate them. And yes, the most important reason, even I was thinking why Indian Air Force could not be used at a wider scale. मेरे दिमाग में पहले यही चीज़ आई कि भाई इंडियन एयरफोर्स को क्यों यूज़ नहीं किया आपने. आप ग्राउंड लेवल ट्रूप्स को इतना ज़्यादा एंगेज कर रहे हो, उसमें हमारी इतनी कैजुअलिटी हुई. इंडिया का क्लेम है कि करीब 527 सोल्जर्स हमारी तरफ से शहीद हुए, और पाकिस्तान का जो एस्टिमेट है वो 1022 या 42 के करीब है. तो उसका रीज़न ये था कि इंडिया कुड नॉट टेक अ चांस टू एंगेज Indian Air Force at a wider scale, because Pakistan was not accepting that it is their Pakistani troops, the Pakistan regular army which is fighting in the Kargil sector. They claimed that कि ये तो कोई कश्मीरी मुजाहिदीन है, कुछ कश्मीरी इंसर्जेंट्स हैं, कुछ फ्रीडम फाइटर्स हैं जो लड़ रहे हैं आपसे. It was of course it was a rubbish claim, and later it was also refuted thanks to several incidents, thanks to several evidences we could collect. एक तो हमने उनके उस टाइम पे परवेज़ मुशर्रफ उनके चीफ ऑफ आर्मी स्टाफ थे, तो वो चाइना की विजिट पे गए हुए थे, और उनकी जब अपने लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल अजीज़ खान से बात हो रही थी तो उस मैसेज को हमने इंटरसेप्ट किया, और उस मैसेज में ये बात साफ बताई गई थी कि स्क्रफ ऑफ द नेक इज इन आवर हैंड्स. एक इंग्लिश में प्रोवर्ब होती है, जब आप किसी पेट डॉग को पीछे से पकड़ लेते हो ना, तो उसको हम बोलते हैं स्क्रफ ऑफ द नेक. उसको कंट्रोल करने के लिए। तो उनका मतलब मिलिटेंट की नेक से था, scruff of the militant neck is in our hands. So those, even if there were some insurgents, they were backed by the Pakistani troops. They were provided the logistical support by the Pakistani troops, based, some of them based in the Skardu Valley across the LOC. उस तरफ जो रीजन था LOC का, पहले स्कार्दू और कारगिल के बीच में रोड एग्जिस्ट करता था, तो स्कार्दू वैली से पूरा लॉजिस्टिकल सपोर्ट उनको मिल रहा था। तो हमारी आर्मी की ये भी कोशिश थी कि अगर कोई बॉडीज़ रिकवर होती है तो उनकी बॉडीज़ में से अगर हमें कोई डॉक्यूमेंट्स मिलते हैं तो हम वो कैप्चर करेंगे और बाद में इनकी माटी पलीत करेंगे देश भर में, पूरे विश्व भर में। और उनकी हुई भी, इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे उनको, इंटरनेशनल फोरा पे उनको इतना कॉन्डेम किया गया। खैर वो तो मैं बाद में आऊँगा। तो हमको ये डर था कि इंडियन एयरफोर्स, अब वो तो एक्सेप्ट कर नहीं रहे पाकिस्तानी ट्रूप्स, वो बोल रहे हैं कि पाकिस्तानी ट्रूप्स तो इन्वॉल्व है ही नहीं। और अगर इंडिया, अगर कोई भी एयरफोर्स LOC को हल्का सा भी क्रॉस कर गया, दे वुड गेट द एक्सक्यूज एंड वी वर वरीड, क्योंकि उन्होंने भी अपना फर्स्ट न्यूक्लियर टेस्ट कर लिया था। और फिर वही बात है कि उनको एक्सक्यूज़ मिल जाएगा, तो हम वो चाहते नहीं थे। तो हम बहुत ही लिमिटेड हमने रेंज रखी अपने ऑपरेशंस की इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने, और इंडियन एयरफोर्स ने काफ़ी बखूबी अपना काम किया। तो ये सब हुआ साहब। और बाद में सबसे, फिर मेरे ख्याल में 2 महीने 2.5 महीने बाद पाकिस्तान ने अपने सिक्योरिटी, जो जो भी सिक्योरिटी पर्सनल थे उनको रिट्रीट करना शुरू कर दिया। Pakistan was also worried because India was also seen moving the nuclear 5-6 nuclear tipped missiles in the Kargil sector, and as per the reports, even Pakistan was also seen moving the nuclear arsenal from their side of the LOC. So Nawab Sharif Saab went to US to meet Bill Clinton, and he asked for his help. क्लिंटन साहब ने लगाई उन पर फटकार कि आप ये अभी तो 2-3 महीने पहले तो लाहौर डिक्लेरेशन साइन हुई है, और अब आप ऐसे कैसे, मतलब उनकी मिलिट्री आउटपोस्ट को कैसे कैप्चर कर सकते हो। तो सबको ये डर था कि भाई न्यूक्लियर वॉर ना हो जाए, तो इसलिए वॉशिंगटन अकॉर्ड साइन हुई 4 जुलाई को, और नवाज शरीफ साहब ने धीरे धीरे अपनी फोर्सेस को रिट्रीट करना शुरू कर दिया। बट इस पूरी लड़ाई में अपने जो जवान थे, अपने जो जाबाज ऑफिसर्स थे, उन्होंने जिस तरीके से उन हिल्स को कैप्चर किया, आई थिंक वो हम सबको वो पढ़ना चाहिए, उसको देखना चाहिए। बहुत ही काबिल तारीफ़ था, बहुत ही काबिल तारीफ़। एडवांटेज उनके पास था। आज भी अगर कोई लोग, अच्छा बाय द वे एक और रूट एग्जिस्ट करता था, ले मनाली हाईवे भी एग्जिस्ट करता, बट वो रूट काफ़ी लंबा था। तो उनका रीज़न ये था कि वो NH1 को ब्लॉक कर दें, क्योंकि वहाँ से क्लियर ऊपर दिखाई दे रहा है। तो इतनी डिफ़िकल्ट टेरेन में हम जैसे आदमियों को चढ़ने में भी दिक्कत होती है। अभी जो बाइकर्स ले के लिए जाते हैं ना मनाली से होते हुए, तो वो बीच में लेह पहुंचकर 2-3 दिन रुकते हैं, एक्लिमेटाइज होते हैं। और इस वॉर में बहुत सारे ट्रूप्स को जब मोबिलाइज किया गया तो उनको एक्लिमेटाइज करने का भी टाइम नहीं मिला था। एंड इमेजिन, उनको उतने हिल्स के ऊपर जाकर चढ़ना है, और चढ़ना इतना ज़्यादा टफ टास्क हो जाता है कि उसके बाद किसी के साथ लड़ना। और इमेजिन करो, योर एनिमी इज सिटिंग ऑन द टॉप एंड ही कुड इजीली शूट यू डाउन। सो दैट्स वाई मोस्ट ऑफ द टास्क ऑफ क्लाइंबिंग अप टुक प्लेस इन द नाइट। और वो भी मून लाइट, जिस दिन मून लाइट होती थी उस दिन नहीं होता था। एंड देन इन द नाइट यू हैव टू फेस द फ्रिजिड नाइट्स ऑल्सो। इस वजह से ये बैटल बहुत ज़्यादा फियर्स बैटल थी। और इसका कोई दूसरा कोई और किसी और वॉर के साथ इसको कंपेयर नहीं किया जा सकता, अभी तक तो बिल्कुल नहीं किया जा सकता। तो फाइनली उसके बाद हमने सारे पीक्स को रिकैप्चर किया। आज की डेट में तो काफ़ी ज़्यादा सिक्योरिटी है वहाँ पे। हम तो लॉजिस्टिकली देखा जाए, इंटेलिजेंस के हिसाब से देखा जाए, आर्टिलरी सपोर्ट के हिसाब से देखा जाए, कितनी बटालियन वहाँ पे अभी प्लेस्ड है उसके हिसाब से देखा जाए, नाउ आई डोंट थिंक पाकिस्तान वुड डेयर टू डू दिस स्टूपिड एक्ट अगेन। उस टाइम पे है यस हमारा इंटेलिजेंस फेलियर हुआ था, बट नाउ इंडिया इज़ वेल प्लेस्ड इन दिस रीजन। सो अब ये पहली वीडियो थी। अब आने वाली वीडियोज़ इससे भी ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग होगी, क्योंकि मैं उसमें उन इंटरेस्टिंग इवेंट्स के बारे में बात करूँगा जिसने मुझे भी काफ़ी इमोशनल कर दिया जब मैं उनको पढ़ रहा था। सो इन नेक्स्ट वीडियो आई विल टॉक अबाउट द हेलमेट टी पार्टी ऑफ सेकेंड राजपुताना राइफल्स। थैंक यू सो मच।